Hello, everyone, and welcome to HowToBet or HowToBet.com podcast. I'm Daryl Sean, along with Sean the Genius Miller, and it is time for our Parlay Power Plays of the Week. Remember to go down and on YouTube, leave comments. Ask for merch. We have merchandise. We have the swag. So if you want, Emily, we get a shot of that. So we good? You need me to move that? Here, I want to show everybody the fancy. Are we good?
Yep.
All right, cool. The fancy merch we have a lot of stuff. We have hats, shirts, water bottles. We get a lot. So anyway, ask for merch. We'll send it out to you. What was the gentleman's name? He had two presidents' names.
Roosevelt
Wilson. Roosevelt Wilson's getting some merch.
Give us your address, Roosevelt.
Yeah, we do need your address. So email that or send it to us at howtobet.com. And of course, go down a little further to the description box. Click those links. That's where you're going to find Sean the Genius Miller's previews, injury reports, odds updates, and exclusive offers to various sports books around the country. So get there early and often at HowToBet.com. It is time for our Parlay Power Plays of the Week. We did not do well last week. Admittedly, we did not do well. We've had a hell of a year. We really have. An incredible year, documented, record-setting year. It really has been. But we did not do well last week. We did well with our over-unders, very well. I was perfect with my over-unders. Sean was 2 of 3, 2 and 1 last week with that, but we did not do well with our other bets, and we admit it. So this week we're going to make our comeback, and we had to be a little bit creative here. So Sean, you begin with your Parlay Power Play of the Week. I happen to know it's pretty creative. Go.
Yeah, definitely. I'm watching the game the other day. You just saw Tyreek Hill catch that ball.
He's a little bit fast, that guy. A little bit.
I said, man, I wish I could have his speed for a couple days just to see. I mean, he touched the ball 3 steps and he was gone. You could see he was going to score there. He turned that corner. So he's a bad guy, but, whatever. He's a pretty good football player. He's just, just electric when he touches the ball.
Yes.
So I think they're going to try to get him.
He didn't have a great year this year. I think that's why the totals haven't been extremely high this season. Mm-hmm. He didn't have a great year, but he certainly looked great last week. Yeah,
definitely. And, they're getting in the ball, and I think so. I'm going to put him, Tyreek Hill, anytime touchdown score in that game. And then I used Fox Bet for this, but once again, you could probably use, whatever one you want to use here. Yeah. Kansas City minus 6.5 and over 53.5. They were kind of as a thing. You click them together. So you got the Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown, the over, and the minus 6.5, so it's under a touchdown, and you get at plus 355. So I'm going to take a chance with that.
So plus 355, that seems like it could happen for you. So that's a Tyreek Hill touchdown, anytime touchdown. Kansas City minus 6.5 over Cincinnati, and over in the Kansas City, over 53.5 in the Kansas City Cincinnati game.
You could probably even put Jamar Chase in there because I think the Bengals are going to score some points, but I think you could probably add him.
He had a pretty good game last time these two met.
Tyrann Mathieu might be back. He's questionable for this game, so he's going to play. I think he's going to play, but if he's back, I think that's massive for the game as well. Just once again, you have to go to howtobet.com and go to the stories that are up there. Yep. The conference championship stories, and then the odds links. They're all here. Yep. You'll see those links.
Injury updates.
Yeah, you got to check the injury updates. As you talk about your game, 49ers right now, Trent Williams, ankle sprain. Jeff Wilson Jr., low ankle sprain. Deebo Samuel has a knee injury. So, those guys are probably going to go, but they're not going to be 100%. And it's going to be the same thing with the Bengals. The Bengals got a bunch of guys banged up here. So a bunch of defensive linemen, Josh Tupou, Cam Sample. So they're both questionable. They're probably going to play, but
everybody this time of year is a little banged up, if not a lot banged up. But you gotta lace it up and go.
Cincinnati's got a couple guys on the COVID list right now, which is a little bit crazy.
Crazy because I thought they stopped testing.
Anyway, Cam Sample is one. Yeah.
So my Parlay Power Play of the week, I am going to go. You heard Neri Rodriguez earlier in the show. Well, he and I are thinking alike here. I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers on the money line. I think history tells us that they have their number. he is, in my opinion, and we've talked about coaching mistakes. I mean, we really, it was really a big focus for us on how many mistakes these coaches made last week on the losing side. I think the San Francisco coach, Shanahan, I think he is the best one left in this mix. So I'm going to, that's part of my factoring this in. So I'm going to go with San Francisco on the money line. I'm going to go over 46 in that game. And then I'm going to finish my parlay power play up with Deebo Samuel. I think he'll be involved with both running and receiving, but I could see him having a short passing game that results into some decent yards, and I'm only looking for 55.5 to go over 55.5. So that is my parlay power play of the week. San Francisco 49ers on the money line, over in that game, and over 55.5 receiving yards for Deebo Samuel. So that's my parlay power play of the week here, Sean. We had to get creative, and I think we did.
Yeah, I was looking at those games and flip-flopping back and forth between the 49ers and the Rams, and just looking at those injuries. Are you a little worried about those?
I think especially a guy like Deebo Samuel, I think, when the kickoff comes, he'll be ready. He's been banged up for weeks now.
I think more of the issue is the Trent Williams, the tackle. I think that's a problem.
That scares me a little more, but they've shown that they've had some depth this year.
Yeah.
They run the ball. Look, San Francisco with Mitchell, Samuel, we've seen it for a few years now. They really run the ball well, whether it was Hasty and Wilson or Mostart. They really like to run the ball. They do a good job. And it all starts up front. So I don't think it's going to be a huge issue, although you obviously rather have them. I'm talking about Williams.
Yeah, and I think, you look at Los Angeles, and they're probably the healthiest team left. I mean, you look at their thing. I mean, they just don't have a lot of guys. Got some questionable guys, but it's some backups and stuff. So, I think it's going to be interesting. And just looking back to that last week, the last weekend of games. I mean, which were you more disappointed in? The Packers or the Titans as the top seed losing?
Packers. Titans, it didn't shock me at all. I had them, but we didn't know how Henry was going to be. Tannehill was worse than I could ever imagine.
All he's got to do is not throw 3 interceptions, and they're in the championship game.
Vrabel wasn't very good either as far as making decisions.
This guy, man.
I wasn't shocked. I was a little stunned that Green Bay went down again. I had them. Look, I bet them to win the Super Bowl 8 weeks ago at plus 400. Yeah, I was surprised. Rodgers again does not come up big in a playoff game. I think
4 losses in the playoffs
I think the
to
guy's
San Francisco,
incredible.
and they, he won a Super Bowl back in 2011, but since then they've been awful in the playoffs. They haven't even got back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and the coaching there was not good. It's.
Who would you, if you're the Packers fans, would you rather keep the coach or the player? The Rodgers?
I got to keep Rodgers. Look, Rodgers is a great player. He's just not. He hasn't come up big in the playoffs.
I think
they're
going to tear it apart.
The special teams. Look, if you're a head coach and you know your special teams have been awful, and it has been documented awful, make a change, do something different. But they went right into that game.
Let me tell you something.
That was a killer.
That punt block was absolutely unbelievable. But the play the guy made, because he's getting mugged on the play, and he just put his hand up. And you see, as soon as the punt gets blocked, everybody's looking up for the ball. But at that point, you're like, you know what?
I think the one even bigger was the blocked field goal at the end of the half, which gave San Francisco momentum and less points to come back from.
Yep.
But I think that was a huge play there. And look, I think it's time for Crosby to, get going too. He's been there forever, a great kicker.
Yeah, they're about
one of the best
$50 million over the cap, I think, or something like that. $44 million.
They're going to have some issues.
Yeah, they're going to have some.
They're going to have some
issues.
issues.
But that division stinks.
But yes,
it's like
stunned.
the NFC least.
I was more stunned with that, and I guess there's also it's not a coincidence that the 2 teams left in the NFC are from that NFC West that was the best conference in football.
The two, yeah, really, and then even in the AFC, the AFC West was pretty good all year. It's pretty competitive, and obviously the Chiefs are there. So I just it's I'm not stunned by these teams left, and obviously the NFC North is the most competitive. Every game is competitive. You're playing these competitive games all season long, and then you get in the playoffs and you're used to winning and playing tight games.
Yeah. Hey, go to HowToBet.com again. You on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Absolutely free. Nobody will ever ask you for any money here. So yes, hit that subscribe button, like button, notification bell. Then go down, leave comments, ask for merchandise. Go down a little further to the description box. Click on those links. That's where you're going to find Sean, the Genius Miller's previews at HowToBet.com. Injury reports, odds updates, and exclusive offers to sportsbooks around the country. We do appreciate you watching. We know you have a ton of options, so we do appreciate you watching and listening to us on HowToBet.com. Remember, bet with your head, not with your heart. Don't go over your means. If you have or think you have a gambling problem, there is help out there, including 1-800-GAMBLER. When we come back, we're going to break down these two games that are left here in the NFC AFC. We'll do it all after this. How to Bet, go to HowToBet.com.
Let's go.